Liberty wearing the red. They are 5-2 in true road games, 3-2 in conference. New Mexico State in the white. They'll have the first offensive possession here tonight. Good to have you with us from the Pan American Center. Terry Oglesby, Bart Lennox, and Lucas Santos is our officiating crew. Emmanuel Shimanga scored 8 points in the first matchup, loses the handle, stolen by Porter. Porter and Matheny, the two guys to watch on the floor right now for the Arc. And then Taylon Peter, the second best scorer for Liberty, comes off the bench for them. The Aggies really defended the three well in the first matchup. Liberty only made 3 threes on 14 attempts the first time around. Cleveland on the spin. Cleveland with the left finishes +1. Cleveland picking up right where he left off here a year ago.
He's maybe the most interesting player in the league, Adam, in that he leads Liberty, and Liberty's only lost 4 games all year by a total of 20 points. And he leads the team in rebounding and assists, which is an unusual combination. He can really score, but he's got to do it. He's not much of a three-point shooter, but he seems to know it.
Similar to Filipovic, isn't he?
That's right. In many ways, that's actually a pretty good comparison. Except he doesn't have the flu.
Filipovic unavailable. Jackson to the rim, double clutches, spins off. Cleveland averages 6.5 rebounds per game, the top rebounder this year for Liberty. Owen Aquino working on Shimanga. Nice reverse layup is good, and a foul was called as well. No, timeout was called by Jason Hooten right away. No foul as Matheny finished, a nifty finish by Caden Matheny. And you can tell Jason Hooten just hates this start right now in the first minute 7.
I think he's concerned. He's a bundle of energy, but this is what we talked about, Adam, is the backdoor cuts from the shooters. You've got to be a little bit careful about getting beat backdoor. You can't lose sight of your man. But I think Jason Hooten is concerned not just tactically, but he's going up and down the bench now trying to get everybody fired up. He will not let them feel sorry for themselves after the tough loss against UTEP.
Despite all the offensive struggles recently, New Mexico State has been in every game but one. The only blowout loss was against WKU. The defense has kept New Mexico State in games, and now they match up with an offense for Liberty that averages just under 80 points per game. Jackson working on Porter. Good high hedge by Aquino. The bounce for Jaden Harris. New Mexico State 3 of 20 from 3 in the first half last weekend against UTEP. Shot selection wasn't great. Cook to the rim, and he lays it in.
He's gotten better and better each game at going to the basket. Remember when he first came, he wasn't so interested in getting to the basket, but now he's really has a much more well-rounded game.
Field goal percentage, the previous 8 for Cook, only 32%. They're shooting well over 45% for a while. Cleveland working hard. Carpenter can't finish with the left, and there's Shimanga, who had 7 boards in the first matchup. Carpenter on the catch. Struggled last weekend with his shot. New Mexico State only shot 30% from the field, but had a shot to tie it in the final seconds last weekend against the Miners. 10 to shoot for Cook. Moffmer defends. Step-in 3 for Harris. Swirls away. And Russ, there were a lot of those in and out in the first half last weekend.
Yes, and don't remind me. Yeah, that's not a good, but Jaden Harris looked good putting that up. He needs to shoot that one again.
Matheny, too strong on the floater, tapped off the backboard. Moffmer, grabbed by Jackson. The Aggies trying to get some easy ones in transition. Jackson lost it on the spin, and now Matheny can recover. Long skip to Carpenter in the corner. The defense by Cleveland. Second look, Harris. Too strong on this one. Cleared by Moffmer. 3-point struggles. We've talked about it every night. It seems like 33% from 3 for New Mexico State, almost 40% from 3 for Liberty this year. And they really move without the ball. Porter rims in the triple. He's 46% to pace Liberty for the year.
And he's a 3-to-1 assist turnover ratio. I mean, he's a really good floor leader for the Flames.
Porter is under 6 feet tall, so is Matheny. Liberty struggles on the glass because they are small, but they sure make up for it with their ability to make shots from the arc. Aggies will have to hurry. Cook looking for separation. Harris gets it poked away by Matheny, and it's grabbed by Porter. Flames can extend their early lead. Cleveland has it pinball away. Snatched in by Deontay Bostic.
Well, Zach, Cleveland won't miss many of those. Aggies got a break there.
Ball reversal. Harris still shoots with confidence. Osborne a one-handed tip.
He's so active, Adam. They put the 7-footer on the bench, and here's the 6'5" guy, and he's just as effective.
Osborne, a really good defender, good around the rim. Impacted the win a couple weeks ago against Middle Tennessee in a big way. He's going to see more minutes with Filipovic out tonight. And off to Peter. Kick out. Moffmer a three. Shallow. Weak side board for Christian Cook. The Aggies down only 4 despite the early struggles. Cook has a much smaller defender on him. It's Matheny, who's only 5'11". Let's see if the Aggies take advantage. Matheny isolated here with Cook. Now Carpenter set to ball screen. Moffmer defense on the switch. Deep 2 is wide right for Cook. Peter to the rim. He had it stripped away, might have touched his leg. The officials will say for now it's going to be Liberty ball. Second go-around as the Liberty head coach. 12th overall season as the head coach of the Flames for Richie McKay. Former head coach in Albuquerque for New Mexico.
Well, and the other interesting thing, he spent a lot of time with Tony Bennett, the highly successful Virginia coach, but he doesn't play offensively like Tony Bennett did. He's much more freewheeling. Defensively now they're very close, I think. But offensively it's more free. And he'd played, of course, for Tom Bennett in junior college, the Mesa junior college coach. Also like different, no relation, of course, to Tony Bennett.
Here's Carpenter, double clutches. Shot was altered, grabbed by Osborne. And we'll get a held ball. Possession goes to Liberty. Pickens came in during the timeout. So did Carl Sharonfont. So if you're wondering who gets some of those minutes for Filipovic, Sharonfont will grab some of those. Sharonfont, scoreless in conference play. He's only played 17 minutes in league play. And now Nate Shimanga comes in early.
Well, and Jason Hooten was sort of had his arm around Robert Carpenter when he got back to the bench, I think, saying just...
Here comes Osborne, working on Cleveland. Bounces to Nate Shimanga, who slips around Peter.
Osborne's been terrific. But yeah, Jason Hooten was telling Robert Carpenter, just go up with it. You don't need to head fake on Zach Cleveland. Just try and go over him.
Osborne making an impact defensively again. Closes out here on Peter, a deep corner 2, swishes it in. He's a really good shooter. 6'4" redshirt senior out of Division II Arkansas Tech. A lot of the same guys from a year ago for Richie McKay, but they've had some good additions, including Peter. And they've gone the Division II route to get those additions. Pickens. Osborne doesn't shoot many threes. Airballs the 3. And a foul on the rebound called on Xander Yates, who just came in for Liberty. Liberty is going to let Osborne shoot that 3. That's only his second attempted 3 all year. This is where he's impactful. Defense into offense from Jacoby, finding Shimanga. Shimanga on the inbound catch. Here's Jackson. Where does the offense come from here? Very inexperienced offensive group. Drive and kick, and Pickens travels.
Yeah, he picked up his pivot foot. Common mistake, but not a common mistake for Gabe Pickens. That's actually the first time I've seen him do that.
Deontay Bostic will come in. Christian Cook, Jaden Harris, Robert Carpenter still on the bench. Third Aggie turnover. They've been below 14 in 12 straight games. Turnover is not an issue. Shooting the ball has been an issue. Liberty only shooting 44%. 1 of 3 from 3. Porter has the only made 3. He zigzags here. Excellent help defense by Jackson. Moffmer on the spin, using his size on Zaudy. Fade away one-handed floater, good for Javon Moffmer. They won't be many times where Liberty has a size advantage, but right there they did with the 6'6" Moffmer. Perimeter exchange, splitting defenders. Jackson, the floater, too strong. Osborne grabs the miss, then it was loose. Diving for it is Moffmer, who flips it for Peter with no numbers. He'll back it out to the arc.
Pretty heads-up play by Moffmer there.
Aggies below 30% from the field. 27% right now. Peter way off on the three, and the Aggies found a three-point shooter again. They did that twice, Russ, over the weekend, and that was a big part of that loss. They fouled Baylor Hebb once, and they also fouled another three-point shooter last weekend for UTEP.
Yeah, it's a huge no-no. You can't foul a guy shooting, and here's a guy that probably can make 3 free throws in a row in his sleep.
Devin Barnes was the other three-point shooter they fouled last weekend, and UTEP made him pay.
Well, forget about my assessment of his free throw. He's not quite as good as he's about 76%, down to 75% now.
Coming off a 5-point game, which was the lowest output in conference play for Peter. That was against Sam Houston last weekend. It was a 3-point win for Liberty. They beat Louisiana Tech by 24 last Thursday at home. This is a team that at one point was 2-3 in conference, and then New Mexico State went to Liberty undefeated in conference play, and that's when Liberty started this current stretch where they've won 5 of their previous 6. And they could have a much larger lead here. It's only 7. And New Mexico State probably fortunate right now to be only down 7. Harris 0 for 3 from the arc to start. The Aggies are 0 for 4 as a squad. Jackson splits defenders again. Can't float it in. Gets the miss though. Stripped away by Porter. A clean strip. Fires ahead Moffmer. Shimanga trying to block him. And Moffmer's going to shoot free throws when we return. The arc and inside the arc. Both a struggle offensively for New Mexico State right now. The Aggies haven't scored in 2.5 minutes, and those offensive woes have continued so far tonight. 3-2 on the road in conference play, Russ. 2-3 at home in league play.
I would have never guessed that, just because the travel is so tough in this league, and the Pan Am Center has traditionally been such a difficult place to win.
By the way, it's final score in Huntsville. Sam Houston 66, first place Jacksonville State 61. Moffmer, 56% free throw shooter, gets 1 of 2. That final score tonight in Huntsville is a good indication of the conference this year. The last place team just beat the first place team. Nate Shimanga grabs it at midcourt. Excellent defense by Aquino. Had a great handoff low there to Jackson. Coach's son, Gabriel McKay, now in for Liberty, number 21 in red. Some early minutes for Carl Sharonfont, who's barely played in conference play. Fadeaway jumper is good for the transfer from Memphis.
And if he can do that, the Aggies don't really need him to shoot threes as much as, but that medium game. And remember how impressed we were with his defense early in the year. Let's hope he can add something on defense as well.
Those are the first points in conference play for Sharonfont. Inside outside to Aquino. Only his 14th attempt at 3. Only his 4th made 3 all year. And that's frustrating for New Mexico State defensively because you're going to give up 3s against Liberty. Normally they don't come from Aquino.
Yeah, not from the great Spaniard. He's a terrific player. He's just not a huge three-point threat.
Liberty 2 of 4 from 3. As Jackson splits defenders and he muscles this one through. He's getting to the rim right now. He just has to finish.
That's right. And that one got knocked out of his hands. He had great body control and still stuck it in.
Top out by Peter. Now you have to guard Aquino on the arc, so Nate Shimanga will. On the flip side, New Mexico State hasn't made a 3 yet. Close out Shimanga. Aquino puts it on the deck. Floats it from Moffmer. 7 to shoot. Gabriel McKay looking for only his 8th made 3 of the year. So the Aggies are forcing 3-point attempts from guys outside of Porter, Matheny, and some of those really good shooters. Aggies trying to cut it to a 2-possession game. defender slip. Cook is wide open, shoots it over Aquino and knocks it down.
Well, Gabe McKay got knocked to the floor, and Liberty did a great job of covering up for him for a minute, but they left Christian Cook a little bit too open there.
Team high 60th made three for Cook for the year. Step back three, Porter swirls away. Sharon Font wants to run. Jackson. Cook was calling for it, pulls it back to the arc. Well, New Mexico State still fortunate to be only down 4, despite the early offensive woes again. Jackson, deep 2. Back rim no good. Nate Chimanga taps it back out for Zaudy. So an extra chance for the Aggies with a fresh 20. Pull up Harris, wide right. Jaden struggling, 0-4 from the field. His first 2-point attempt right there. Aquino lost it and then grabbed it. Back door. Porter beats the Aggies back door again. They've done that twice.
And that's the danger if you're overplaying the three-point shooters. A lot of three-point shooters just keep running out to half court. But Liberty, if you overplay them on the wings or the top of the keys, they cut to the basket.
Early on it was Matheny who beat the Aggies on a back door. Now it's Porter. Post touch, Nate Chimanga down the lane. Finger rolls it in. He got clipped going up by Peter. And Nate Chimanga has a chance for a three-point play.
Nice, good decision by Nate Chimanga and nice body control. He switched it over to his left hand.
He is super athletic. We just haven't seen it a whole lot this year offensively. And now we'll see what Nate can do at the free throw line, where it's been a career-long struggle. 3 of 16 this year. Cleared by Peter. Cleveland back in, Matheny back in. Brett Decker Jr. now in for Liberty. 3 is way short by Moffmer. Second chance though for Liberty. And they struggle on the glass. You cannot give this really good offensive team a second chance opportunity. They shoot almost 50% for the year, leading Conference USA. Cleveland has it poked away, stolen by Bostic. Good help from Chimanga.
I thought the Aggies were in trouble there, but Chimanga did a great job of helping out.
Media timeout, next dead ball. Backdoor, Harris looking for an easy one, and he blew the layup. Excellent find by Chimanga, who's had really good minutes.
Those Aggies a little gave them a taste of their own medicine, their own sort of backdoor cut.
Cleveland to the rim, and he will shoot free throws when we come back. Foul is on Nate Chimanga, who right now has 4 points, second most on New Mexico State. He only averages 2 points a game from 3. And Liberty, 3 of 7 from the free throw line. Liberty for the year, the worst free throw shooting team in Conference USA, 66%. And it could be way worse, but Matheny and Porter really shoot it well from the line. Moffmer and Cleveland, most notably, really struggle. Pickens, Carpenter, Bostic, Osborne, and Cook for the Aggies right now. They swing it for Bostic. Too strong on the 3. Long rebound snatched in by Caden Matheny. Bostic defends Matheny. Good catch, Cleveland. He's going to shoot a lot of free throws again. A year ago in this building, he was 11 of 13 from the free throw line. So he'll need to find a way to make them, because he could shoot a ton again tonight.
And now we've got a tough decision for Jason Hooten. Does he leave Robert Carpenter in with 2 fouls?
At the line for the Flames, 25, Zach Cleveland.
Russ, we both agree that Filipovic defended Cleveland really well a month ago in Lynchburg, and you just don't have Filipovic tonight, so that's a harder matchup, because it seemed like Filipovic was a really good matchup to defend Cleveland.
Yeah, they were, and vice versa. Zach Cleveland, I think, does a good job guarding Filipovic. I have this dream that Filipovic will go change at halftime out of his street clothes and suddenly feel better, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Free throw woes really hurting Liberty right now, unable to extend their 4-point advantage. Pickens isolated with Matheny all over him. Pickens kicks it for Bostic. Backing down Peter. Back to the arc for Cook. Sloppy possession with the shot clock winding. High hedge, Aquino. Cook has to throw it up, got rim, and it's grabbed in the corner by Aquino. That possession just never looked good offensively.
No, just Matheny was all over Gabe Pickens.
Good help by Cook. Kick out to the corner for Decker, an excellent three-point shooter. Aggies catch a break. Bostic aggressive to the rim. Bostic gets it to pinball through and one, Deontay.
And that's what the Aggies need Deontay Bostic to do. He seems to have lost his mojo a little bit. He usually plays with great confidence and challenges the big guys in the land of the trees as he does here. Pretty acrobatic shot by Deontay Bostic. The Aggies desperately need him to create some offense.
Porter back in for Liberty. Bostic only a 54% free throw shooter. That was foul number 3 on Aquino. So he will likely sit for the rest of this first half.
At the line for New Mexico State, number 0, Deontay Bostic to shoot 1.
Russ, there's so many really good head coaches in this league. They scout at a high level, and a big part of these offensive struggles for New Mexico State is how the scout is against guys like Bostic and Carpenter. Shimanga grabs the rebound, and a foul is called on Peter.
Well, great effort by Emmanuel Shimanga. We weren't seeing him play that aggressively in November, and he's doing it now. Really, really terrific effort.
Russ, would you agree, though, that the Aggies are getting scouted at a high level right now with their top scorers, guys like Carpenter, Cook, and Bostic?
Well, absolutely. And, as the season goes on, you start to see the flaws and the cracks in the armor and that sort of thing. And then, then athleticism becomes important, depth becomes important. And the Aggies just are not as deep as maybe they could be, especially with Filipovic sick.
Lob goes into Emmanuel Shimanga, hands it off to Bostic. Aggies looking for their first lead today, potentially. Foul called on Porter. 6 on Liberty, so no free throws yet. First foul on Porter. Nobody for Liberty outside of Aquino has more than 1. Leading scorer right now for the Aggies is Cook. Cook for 3. Sky high was Harris. That's tipped in the backcourt by Yates. Shot clock will be at 30. The Aggies have only made 1 3. Cook made it earlier. Cleveland defends on Bostic now. Porter on the switch. For Darren Osborne to shoot from the arc. He'll go to the rim. Hangs in the air. Missed it. Tipped out by Shimanga. Grabbed by Moffmer. Decent look, though, for Jacoby Osborne. Matheny struggling on the bounce right there, and it's deflected by Osborne away out of bounds on the sideline.
Osborne is really active defensively. You don't see Caden Matheny get frustrated very often offensively because he's so quick and smart, but Osborne is really active defensively.
That's a big reason why he's playing minutes right now, his defense. Porter steps back and shoots a 3, misses it short. Bostic collects the miss. Liberty has led the entire way. They got off to a really good start. Bostic slithers and had it poked away. Liberty's been great with their hands defensively. Matheny lost it. Grabbed by Bostic. Here comes Osborne. Bostic finds him. Jacoby got hit going up, and they're going to say it got deflected, no foul. Cleveland never fouled him. It was just slapped away by Cleveland.
Well, I think Jacoby Osborne was so open there that I think it surprised his teammate. Maybe the ball could have been delivered a little bit sooner there.
And I don't think there's a question. He took an extra step. The officials let it play on NBA style, if you will.
Or that wasn't a Euro step?
I don't think so. I think he took an extra one. I think.
All right, okay.
Bryson Spell, the big 6'9" redshirt junior out of Virginia Beach, comes in for Liberty. Liberty hasn't scored in 4 minutes. Cook, great look from 3. This is it short. Grabbed on the baseline by Moffmer. Cook 1 of 4 from deep. That was a good look, Russ.
Yeah, he was wide open there. He wasn't. It was a little bit back from the line, but he normally would make that one.
But once again, the defense keeping the Aggies in it. 1 possession game. 4 minutes left, half one. Liberty's led by as many as 9. Moffmer turns, missed it too strong. Tipped out, grabbed by Harris. Aggies need to find a way to get some easy ones. Their inability recently to score in transition. Bostic and one again.
Thank you.
Deontay Bostic aggressive in the interior.
And that's what we were talking about, Adam. He's going to have to go challenge the Giants in there like he just did.
Deontay coming off the bench. Loves what he's seeing from Deontay off the bench tonight.
That's right. Deontay's been on fire here.
Good to hear from Sean Harrington. Jason Hoon said at his coach's show earlier this week, he said, we need to get Sean back in town because when Sean was here, we were 4-0.
Well, I'm all for that. I think Sean. Did you see it's going to be 3 degrees in Chicago this week?
Aggies finally defend that backdoor pass at a high level. Bostic with a great hustle trying to save it on the end line. Jason Hooten loves the effort. I think a foul was called though on Deontay Bostic.
Yeah, I think he
on the play.
He dove into Matheny, not deliberately. He's going after the ball.
That's number 2 on Bostic. The Aggies keep him in. Cleveland guarded by Cook on the switch. Whips it back out. Matheny, horrible matchup for the Aggies here with Shimanga defending him. 3 swirls away. Cleveland grabbed the rebound around 2 Aggies. And Cleveland will shoot 1 and 1. Trying to figure out his free throw woes. He's 1 of 5 tonight.
Yeah, difficult series for the Aggies. You've got Emmanuel Shimanga at 7 foot, having to stretch out and guard Caden Matheny, who's as dangerous as there is in the league. But that left Zach Cleveland underneath the basket with Christian Cook on it.
And that's going to bring in Edward Namako. Foul was on Sharon Font. Namako's seen his minutes go up a little bit the last couple of weeks. A couple minutes here and there. Transfer from Georgia State. He's from Nigeria. 1 and 1 for Cleveland. And he continues to really struggle. 1 of 6. And now it probably becomes mental more than anything for Cleveland.
Well, as Yogi Berra said, 70% of the game is 50% mental.
Bostic misses up close. Cleveland another board, his 4th. Aggies with a late lead here in half one.
I might be misquoting you.
Cleveland, nice feed by Porter, who has that 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, which leads Conference USA among the best around the country. And Namako did not defend that correctly, so he's back on the bench, and Nate Shimanga comes back in. The Aggies also sent Bostic to the bench with those 2 personals. First field goal in 5 minutes, 36 seconds for Liberty on the dunk by Cleveland. Regains the lead for the Flames. Jackson on the arc. Cook's had great looks today. More minutes for Sharon Font in a reserve role. Back to Sharon Font. Slithers in the paint, fadeaway jumper, got it to knock down. 4 for Sharon Font, who thought he was hit on the play.
And second sort of medium range pull-up jumper for Sharon Font, which is something the Aggies really need, that sort of medium game.
Sharon Font had not scored in conference play before tonight. He has 4 in half one. Without Filipovic, somebody has to step up. Moffmer fires to the arc for Porter. Here's Matheny. Speeds by Jackson. Layup no good. Cleveland got the rebound. And on top of him was Shimanga. Richie McKay wants an intentional. Of course, Nate Shimanga was just trying to block the shot. So now Cleveland will try to figure out the free throw line. Now he airballed it. 1 of 7.
Well, as you said, you and Yogi Berra said, it's mental now.
Last year here at the Pan Am, he was making his free throws. He was 11 of 13. at the free throw line in this building a year ago.
That's right.
Conference Player of the Week that week.
I'd forgotten that.
There might be a situation where you just foul Cleveland, and that could be your defense at times, especially down the stretch if you can't make the free throws. The Aggies ahead by 1, 95 seconds left here in the first half. Jackson back to the arc, and a foul was called on the pass. He got whacked by Porter. Liberty 3 of 13 on free throws, but the large chunk of those have come from one player. And you hate to see it, Russ, because Cleveland is a marvelous player.
Oh yeah,
he does so many things well.
And he's so fun to watch, but he's really struggling tonight from the free throw line. He's over there on the sideline smiling. I think he's not taking it to heart. I expect him to bounce back in the second half.
Saudi Jackson, 79% free throw shooter. He had some struggles last weekend, 3 of 6 from the line. A lot of those down the stretch in that 3-point loss against UTEP. Aggies with their biggest first half lead. Liberty has missed 6 of their previous 7 shots from the field. Cleveland on the bench, Peter on the bench, Okino on the bench with his 3 personals. Corner 3, Matheny, he won't miss that much. Matheny with his first of the night. His first made 3 against the Aggies in the 2 games this year. His 67th made 3 all year. One of the best 3-point shooters in the conference. The Aggies held him in check a month ago. Jackson wide open, straight on 3. Knocks it down.
Well, Aggies seem to have broken something in the Liberty defense here as we approach halftime.
Osborne with the foul, and he fouls an 80% free throw shooter. 1-1 coming up for Matheny. Matheny started his collegiate career at Bowling Green, played 3 years in that program. In his second and his final year now at Liberty, out of Morgantown, West Virginia. And now Matheny's missing. If Matheny's missing, you know the struggles are real. Jackson on the spin. Osborne won't shoot it from 3. Cook pulls up from the elbow. Osborne chases it down. Cook passes up a 3 to the rim, and he jams it one-handed.
Wow. And Christian Cook could put that up from 3 and did not. Aggies up 5 here.
Wow. One of the few dunks we've seen in 2 years for Christian Cook. Porter blocked by Osborne.
Well, that makes me nervous when Porter, who's so smart, gets it that close to the basket. But pretty good help by the Aggies.
He's such a good decision maker. He can take it himself or dish. Peter Bostic, 4 big ones for Nate Chimanga and Sharon Font as well. Matheny has to throw it up. Missed it short. Great defense, Christian Cook.
I was worried he was going to foul the 3-point shooter, but he played it brilliantly there, Christian Cook.
Fouls are on Aquino, 2 fouls are on Peter, so Aquino had 3 at one point. They must have changed something at halftime, because Aquino had 3 at one juncture early on in the game. Great look for Cook, and he misses it wide left. Might have been too open right there, Ross.
I think Christian Cook was just as surprised as I was how open he was. A nice screen by Robert Carpenter.
Yeah. That could have put the Aggies ahead by 8. Cook 1 of 5 from 3. Still doesn't look great, but he grinded for 7 points in that first half. Cleveland going to work on Carpenter. Circles back to the arc, trying to hand it off to Matheny. Every catch is difficult. Porter, pick and roll game with Cleveland. Deep 2, good for Porter. 3-year starter, double figures in 6 straight games coming in. Porter now with a team high 7. Jackson kicks to Cook. Short corner for Carpenter, who's been a non-factor offensively so far. Misses the jump hook short, and Cleveland collects his 6th rebound. Transition, Matheny going to work hard. Shimanga flips it in. He faked the pass. Shimanga bid on it. 4 in a row out of the break for Liberty.
And that's the last thing the Aggies want, is for Caden Matheny to get untracked.
Russ, you always say that first 4-minute stretch in half 2 is so important.
Listen, I'm just quoting Lou Henson. It's not like that's not any great revelation. I just remembered what he told us.
Here's Cook going to work on Porter. He juggled going up. Excellent defense by Porter. And now Liberty can take a lead. They led for about 16 minutes in half 1. The 3 is short for Matheny. Nice box out by Carpenter. Another tough game offensively from 3 for Liberty against New Mexico State. As Jackson gets tied up with Matheny, Matheny picks up his 2nd personal.
This is part of the problem with the Aggies trying to get untracked offensively, is how quick Colin Porter and Caden Matheny are. But that was definitely a foul, wasn't it?
Yep, and this will be a shooting foul for Jackson, who's 2 of 2 from the stripe. A little more offense in that first half from Zaudy, who's only averaging 6 points per game in his previous 5 games. His assist-to-turnover ratio hasn't been as good either during those 5 games. 11 helpers, 9 turnovers during that stretch. This is both free throws, and we get a lane violation called on Liberty and Aquino. So mulligan, if you will, for Zaudy. 79% free throw shooter. It'll be tough for him to miss 3 in a row. And he won't. Bostic coming in. Comes in for Jackson. So now Bostic's your point guard. Not a lot of first half minutes for Pickens, but we did see Sharon Font a ton off the bench. And Osborne a ton off the bench. Aggies with some 3-quarter court pressure that gave UTEP some trouble last weekend. Matheny wiggles across the midcourt line. Now away for the ball, Cook. Bumped Aquino, but they call it on Shimanga. It's the first on Emmanuel. I thought it was going to be on Cook. He had his hands up in the air, though, right when they called it. And they call it on the big fella. Backdoor, Matheny found a crease, and then he rushed it. He was open, and then he rushed the layup attempt. Carpenter's only attempted 2 shots before this one. Swirls away. Bostic crashing, and Harris can't grab it in the corner. Cook going off. Osborne coming in. Russ, I feel like the looks are pretty good for New Mexico State tonight, better than last weekend.
That's right, but they've got to battle for everything they're getting. They're not going to get an easy shot without a great effort by Liberty. But yes, the Aggies are missing shots they normally make.
Porter, Cleveland, Matheny, Moffmer, and now Peter on the floor in offense for Liberty. Mismatch with Porter defended by Shimanga. Lob down low, back to the arc. Off balance 3, rims in for Peter. Liberty back in front by 1.
Well, there's a cat and mouse game going on with a real chess game, really, is probably the way to say it, between Richie McKay and Jason Hooten, where they're helping, who to help off, when to switch.
4 lead changes, 2 ties in this game. Harris on the handoff, struggled from 3 in the first half. Around the arc it goes to Bostic. Jumps to pass, fires it back out for Harris inside the arc. Off the mark on his jumper, fight for the rebound. And a foul called on Shimanga, his 2nd foul in the half.
Well, I'm going to applaud Emmanuel Shimanga for that. He's going after the ball hard. It wasn't, probably had to have been called, but it wasn't much of a foul. And Shimanga, to see Shimanga that aggressive,
The younger brother comes in for the older brother as Nate comes in for Emmanuel. Carpenter heads off. Sharon Font comes in for the first time in half two. Liberty led early by 9. About 9 minutes into the game, they led 17-8. And then Liberty really struggled the final 10 minutes or so in that first half. They played well so far to start half two. Harris got a hand on it, deflected into the backcourt where it's grabbed by Matheny. Osborne guards Matheny on the switch. Matheny gets a three away. And that was forced by Osborne.
Yeah, Osborne is so active defensively.
That's thrown away by Bostic. Was not touched. The Aggies commit their 6th turnover. And during this current stretch where the Aggies are only averaging 61 points per game in their previous 7, turnovers, Russ, have not been the issue. It's been making shots.
No, that's right. The Aggies have done. Remember the first couple games we were worried the Aggies were turning the ball over too often in the opening games, but they've done a great job of taking care of the ball now for months.
Harris trying to poke it away from Aquino. Peter on the arc. A touch, mid-post extended. Aquino slings it to the corner for Porter. His three is short. He thought he got hit. Aggies pushing. Bostic. Now to Sharon Font, who scored 4 in the first half. Nate Chimanga will square up. Trying to flip it for Bostic. Bostic was going back door. Now the turnovers are creeping up. And could not give it a go tonight. Liberty ball out of the timeout. Aquino, Porter, Peter, Cleveland, and the coach's son, Gabriel McKay for Liberty. Long range three for Peter, and he knocks it down. His second half three.
You should get 4 for that one, Adam.
Transfer from Division II, Arkansas Tech. Arkansas Tech in Russellville, Arkansas. That's where Peter's from as well. Transferred away from his hometown for his final year collegiately. Harris a long toss to Osborne. Cleveland sagging off. Sharon Font. Fadeaway jumper. Carl rims it away. Collected by Peter. You have to think at some point Liberty will have Porter and Matheny heat up from 3. Right now it's Peter heating up from 3 as Aquino leans into Nate Chimanga, draws contact, and will shoot 2. If you're Richie McKay right now, you're probably telling your guys during timeouts and at halftime, we are not playing anywhere near our best, yet we're right there on the road, which is where you want to be.
That's right, and the Aggies can't expect Zach Cleveland to miss that many free throws in this half as well.
Aquino, a 56% free throw shooter. Liberty, the worst free throw shooting team in the conference because of the numbers for Cleveland, Aquino, and Moffmer. They can seal games late because they have 2 excellent free throw shooters with Porter and Matheny. It's been a real struggle in this second half for New Mexico State offensively, just like the early stages of half 1. They weren't great in the final 10 minutes of half 1, but much better than what they were in the first 10. Bostic. Osborne left open again in the corner. Osborne trying to push it out for Sharon Font. Batted away by Peter. Right now the Flames defending Osborne about 5 feet off him on the arc, just daring him to shoot a 3. Under 10 to shoot for Bostic with Matheny defending. Bostic throws it up, left it short. Matheny grabbed the rebound, and Bostic whacked it away out of bounds.
Well, we talk about Deontay Bostic getting to the basket, but when the help is as good as Liberty's, it makes it pretty tough.
The Aggies only shot 36% from the field in the first matchup. Season low 30% last time out against UTEP. They're sputtering right around 30% again. Osborne guards Peter. Pino fakes the handoff, going to work on Chimanga. Peter, long range again, swirls this one away. Shimanga grabs the rebound.
And what Emmanuel Shimanga did there, Adam, we don't see him do that. We've started to see him do that. What Filipovic does is go get balls that aren't bouncing to him. Like he went about 15 feet to go get that last one.
Shimanga misses the shot put floater up close. These are 5 and 10 footers the Aggies just can't connect on right now in this half. The good news is they're not settling for threes. The bad news is they haven't made the shots up close. Flames not on the same page. Cook to the rim. He had it deflected away. Was it touched by Cook or was it touched by Liberty? They're going to say it's Aggie ball in the end line. Aggies like to curl Cook on these inbound plays and try to get him a three. We'll see if he can find a way to get free here. Well, maybe it touched Cook's leg going out of bounds. Sharon Font to Cook. McKay defends. Fadeaway jumper, no good. Grabbed by Matheny. Russ, these are pretty good looks, aren't they?
That's right. I'm shaking my head wondering when they'll start making those.
5-on-4 if the Aggies hurry. Matheny's late to get back. Somebody's open. It's Jackson momentarily. Carpenter has size on McKay. Doesn't take advantage of it, though. That's a blocking foul on Gabriel McKay. His dad, Richie, wanted to push off. Probably could have had one right there.
Well, he's such a good defender. Gabe McKay is such a good defender. You know, he's already graduated from Liberty, by the way. He's in graduate school. He wants to be a coach, which is a little disturbing. Should we get him counseling?
Yeah.
Here comes Porter back in.
Liberty right now leaving that door cracked open. They trailed by 5 at the break. New Mexico State has really struggled in the first 7+ in half 2. Jackson, a sideline 3, and he knocks it down. Much needed. First field goal for the Aggies since the Cook dunk, Russ, with 31 seconds left in the first half.
Wow.
I mean, this is stunning. The Aggies are within a possession. Pick and roll game with Aquino. 5-point lead for Liberty. This game feels a lot like last weekend when the Aggies had a shot to tie it down the stretch, but eventually lost by 3 against UTEP. Jackson fires it. Cook in front of his bench. Makes it more difficult in the step back. They're going to call it a 2 for now. They'll review it at the break. They'll call it a 2 for now, but it will be reviewed during the upcoming media. It sure seemed like his feet were behind the line. Aquino, bumped by Shimanga. Emmanuel picks up his third, all 3 fouls coming in this half. Can't overturn the call on the floor if you don't have enough evidence to change it. And right now, Russ, let's be honest, New Mexico State needs every point they can get.
Well, that's right. But if Christian Cook is starting to feel it, that could really help.
Owen Aquino, transfer from Eastern Florida State JUCO, where he was a JUCO All-American out of Madrid, Spain. New Mexico State going with Jackson, Osborne, Cook, Carpenter, and Harris. Going very small, which you can do against Liberty. Liberty not very big. Aggies fire it for Cook. A smaller 5'10" Porter defense. Kick out, Jackson. Passes up a 3, guarded by Moffmer. Cook straight arm. Missed it short. Carpenter got a hand on it. And then snatched in by Aquino. If the Aggies make a comeback here, Russ, Cook's going to have to shoot the ball well in the final 10, right?
I think that's right. I thought that was going in.
Osborne held Cleveland The 5th Aggie team foul here in the half.
This is where it gets so difficult, Adam, is that there's 4 Liberty players behind the three-point line, and they can all shoot the ball. And then Cleveland cuts to the basket, and it's just Jacoby Osborne isolated by himself down there.
They're really smart. They backdoor extremely well. We saw that early on in the game with Matheny, and then Porter later on. Driving a pitch out to Moffmer. He can shoot the ball a little bit as well. Hustling on Osborne, who's trying to poke it. Good verticality by the freshman. Better move by Moffmer. Danger zone for the Aggies. Sputtering offensively, down 7 with 10 and change remaining. Cook to Jackson. Harris on the arc. Harris bounces for Jackson. Has to shoot a 3 with the shot clock winding. Osborne grabs it. Osborne trying to stick it in. He's going to shoot free throw.
Well, good heads-up hustle play by Osborne. Osborne and Carl Schoenfeld have been very good so far.
We've talked so often in the past about the offense really running through Filipovic when the Aggies have been at their best. When you think back to the UTEP win on the road, the Middle Tennessee first half on the road a couple weeks ago, everything was kind of running through Filipovic. Not a point guard, a post player who's an excellent passer. And he is sorely missed on the offensive end of the floor. Osborne, only his 7th free throw attempt of the season, 4 of 7. Filipovic unavailable, he's out sick once again here tonight. 1 out of 2 for Osborne.
Osborne looks like he's limping a little bit to me, Adam. We'll watch him here closely.
It was a physical play on the other end when he was guarding Moffmer moments ago. I also think he got hit in the chin. He was holding his chin after that play. Now Aquino trying to muscle around Harris, and Harris found him going up. Liberty not shooting a lot of threes. They're just trying to score in the paint.
And this is what we just talked about, is that there's 4 good shooters with their toes on the three-point line, and Jaden Harris with a 6'8" guy. Left alone it's difficult work, and Osborne is limping a little bit, isn't he?
Bostic replaces him. The Aggie offense was going in the first half. Bostic was creating. Aquino's making his free throws in this half. 2nd of 2, good, makes both. 8-point lead for Liberty, biggest lead 9. That was early on in the game. That was 9+ in. The Aggies were in a pretty good spot at the break, ahead 29-24. They've sputtered again offensively in this half. Bostic trying to create in the paint. Got Peter away from him and didn't take advantage of it. Jackson spinning, kicking. Harris, a corner 3, swirls off. That was down and out. And then Peter might have dribbled it off his leg. He did. Last touch by Peter, trying to go behind his back at the midcourt line. Well, the good news for the Aggies is right now Jaden Harris just kind of smirking, trying to laugh it off as much as possible. That was down and pop loose. Need to find a way to still shoot with confidence. Backdoor, Bostic sandwiched around 2 flames. Wing 3, Jackson. Bingo! Timeout, Jason Hooten. Before that 3 for Jackson, the Aggies had only scored 7 points in the half. Liberty plus 10 in the half. This one will stretch out to an officials media timeout. It's still a 5-point game despite the offensive struggles. Liberty 44, New Mexico State 39. over this hump.
Well, I think they've got to continue to attack the basket the way Deontay Bostic has done so well up to this point, and so has Zodi. They're going to have to rely on Robert Carpenter, who's not only is he scoreless last game, he's scoreless tonight as well. So he's now gone a game and 3 quarters without a basket against Liberty, and I think he's only got a couple rebounds as well. Our stats are a little bit delayed for technical reasons, but Carpenter and Cook are going to have to get on track as the other guys go at the basket.
Flames going with Mothmer, Matheny, Aquino, Peter, and Porter. Cook, Carpenter, Bostic, Jackson, and Harris for the Aggies. Wide open down low is Mothmer. There's been a couple easy ones for Liberty. Lead back to 7. Pick and pop, Carpenter. Still hasn't scored, lost the handle. Peter sends it ahead to Mothmer. Matheny, NBA range, and then some. And there were 5 rebounders on the arc for Liberty. Inside, outside for Mothmer. Well, for some, that might be an ill-advised 3 when Matheny shot it, but he can knock that down with consistency.
That's right, that's right.
Jackson hesitates. The Aggies bunched up there in the far corner, so he'll backpedal out to the arc. Trying to create around Aquino. Quiet night for Carpenter. Can he create? Carpenter lost it. Jackson squirts it for Harris, has to shoot. Got rim. Carpenter went crashing, and it's sent out to Peter. Porter in transition. Had a layup, kicks it out to Peter, who knocks down the 3.
And it's like a layup for Talon Peter from there.
That's where Liberty can really burn you. Porter and Matheny will have layup attempts here in the final month or so. Big possession for the Aggie offense. Liberty plus 15 in this half. They've outscored New Mexico State 25-10 after the break. Cook a pull-up. He connects.
Just a good series for the Aggies that time. Good ball movement.
Matheny, sure-handed ball handler, angles off to the far wing and flips it from Mothmer. Looking at backdoor, it wasn't there. Peters had the big half for Liberty. 3 threes in this half off the bench for Peter. Matheny's been held in check again. Stripped by Jackson. Here come the Aggies. Looking for an easy bucket. Cook a 3. Missed it short. Battle for the rebound. Bostic pulls it in, and we get a jump ball. Jason Hooten felt like Bostic was held on the rebound. The 3 by Cook would have made it a 5-point game.
Well, great effort by Deontay Bostic. He was in with 3 Liberty players around him and came down with the ball.
Cook still trying to find his shooting stroke. He's had some pretty good looks during the course of the game tonight. Mothmer brings Liberty out of the backcourt. Cleveland hasn't done a ton in this half. He's fouled going up. Has a smirk right there.
Well, I keep thinking what Pat Knapp said to me the other day, and I saw the assistant coach go up and got him laughing hysterically at halftime.
The bench erupts for Liberty. And that's the best thing you can do right there, is laugh it off if you're Cleveland. He was so good for the line in this building a year ago. He has struggled this year shooting free throws, but not 1 of 8. So that was even uncharacteristic of him this year. Jackson a kick out. Bostic from the corner. That swirls away. The shooting woes continue for New Mexico State. And that's a good look. That's a drive and a kick. Liberty looking for their 6th true road win this year. Cleveland back to the arc to Matheny underneath. Shot clock winding. Peter pump faking a drive, hands it off to Cleveland. Cleveland has to shoot. Fade away, air ball. Shot clock violation.
Well, pretty good defensive series by the Aggies.
Russ, this is a Liberty team that's averaging just under 80 points per game. So overall, The defense has been good enough to win again, but the offense just has really, really struggled, which has led to this deficit right now. Cook looking for a crease. Fade away. Oh, good. Only one rebounder down there. And it's pulled in defensive by Moffmer.
Yeah, I feel like the Aggies have done a great job of preparing how to stop Liberty. But it's just that they just are having trouble scoring. And Jason Hooten can't go out and make the shots for them. I think he would if we let him.
Shot clock under 10 again. Porter fires for Matheny. And he scores around Chimanga. Crafty finish by the 5'11 redshirt senior guard.
Scorer, number 7 scorer.
Liberty goes small again with Porter, Matheny, Peter, Cleveland, and Moffmer. Aggies go with Nate Chimanga, Cook, Bostic, Jackson, and Harris. 4.5 left. New Mexico State with the ball, down a dozen. Liberty with their biggest lead of the game. They trailed by 5 at the break. Cook inside the arc, a pull-up, no good. Nate Chimanga got a hand on it. Grabbed in the corner by Matheny. And that's Cook's game. I mean, that mid-range game is where he's really been most effective in his 2 years of the program.
And that was in and out. I thought that was going in.
It's hard to figure out too, Russ, because the offensive woes have also been at home, where New Mexico State practices every day. This is where you should have success shooting the ball. Aggies bail out Porter with 1 left on the time.
You know, a few hundred yards from his high school, and really proved himself. And as you keep mentioning, there's not that much difference between Division II and Division I often. Size more than anything, but Talon Peter could play for a lot of people.
Peter making that transition from D2 to D1 look easy. So is Javon Moffmer as Porter gets the friendly roll. Pickens came in for New Mexico State. Pickens, Jackson, Bostic, Osborne, and Nate Chimanga. Aggressive high hedge. Aquino picks up his 3rd. So frustrating, I'm sure, right now for Jason Hooten, because this is a really good defensive team. I mean, I don't think you want to call it an elite defensive team, but this is a really high-level defensive team. In conference play, the Aggies statistically have been the best defense, but it's been wasted a little bit by the struggles consistently on offense the previous month.
Beautiful feed there by Gabe Pickens. I'm continued to be impressed by the way Gabe Pickens can feed the ball inside to the big guys.
Nate Chimanga defending Aquino out by midcourt. Liberty's outscored New Mexico State 31-14 in the half. Peter a stuff at the rim. Big half for Talon Peter. He has 14.
Well, in case you thought all he could do was shoot 3-pointers.
Slipping Chimanga, whips it back out to the arc. Jackson a sidestep 3, no good, too strong. Grabbed by Jackson on the tip out. To the rim, bounces off the defender Cleveland, and will shoot 2. Heck of a move there by Peter. 3-level score, he's shown that all year. Plays a lot bigger than 6'4".
Yeah, he's not a skinny kid. He's got good size and good strength.
Carl Sharon-Font comes in for Bostic. Well, you knew it was going to be a tall task without your second best scorer and by far your top rebounder, Peter Filipovic. And other players have stepped up in spurts. Osborne's given some good minutes. Carlos Sharon-Font scored 4 in the first half. Wasn't playing much at all in conference play, but playing a lot more tonight. Porter in the forecourt for Aquino. He's trapped. He's in trouble. That's a jump ball. Aggies have the arrow.
Well, probably a smart play by Aquino, the Spaniard, to not just throw it away and give up a layup. He just sort of ate the ball there.
Cook on the bench, Bostic on the bench, Carpenter and Harris on the bench. Pickens to the rim. Pickens misses it up close, had a layup attempt. Peter has it poked away by Jackson. A reach and foul is called. That's the Aggies' ninth. Talon Peter will shoot 1 and 1. We saw a lineup change for New Mexico State tonight in the starting five, and part of that was Filipovic unavailable. We saw Bostic come off the bench and Carpenter start for the first time since mid-December. Jaden Harris, his first start since early December. Jason Hooten said earlier this week, he said, I have to try something different, lineup changes, whatever I can do to get more offense on the floor. And unfortunately, similar results for New Mexico State tonight, and even less than what they have been scoring, below 50 so far.
Well, at a time when, after the Aggies had lost a couple home games before the UTEP and this game, to lose Filipovic is just devastating.
Pickens is bumped. It's the 6th on Liberty, so it's trying to feel like you're playing your best those last couple of weeks leading in to Huntsville at the conference tournament, and that is still in front of you. You can still be playing your best here in a couple of weeks down the stretch going in to the conference tournament here.
I think that's right, although that won't soothe Jason Hooten at all at this point, I don't think. But if they're going to win in Huntsville 3 games in 3 days, they're going to have to hit on all cylinders, and not just Zoddy Jackson or Christian Cook get hot or Robert Carpenter get hot, but each player is going to have to play their best if the Aggies are going to have a chance in Huntsville, Alabama.
Pickens throws it away, picked up his dribble. Peter racing ahead, working on Sharon Fott, and he slips it through. Huge half for Talon Peter. He was quiet in half one. That was a big reason why Liberty trailed by a handful at the break.
Scores.
Richie McKay's squad plus 20 in this half. They trailed by 5 at the break. Pickens works his way to the free throw line. Tough night shooting the ball for Cook, 5 of 17 from the field. Jackson does have 14 to pace the Aggies in this game. 14 for Peter to lead all Liberty scores. Russ, I think back to that wide open 3 by Cook on the first possession in the second half as well. You're up 5. Cook had about 15 feet between him and Porter, the defender who was guarding him, and missed it badly, and that maybe set the tone. Steal by Pickens. Osborne dunks it. Inbound pass to Peter. Tic-tac-toe into the forecourt for Matheny. Looks like the Aggies are not going to foul yet. They're going to play this out. Matheny double team, steps through. Gets it to Moffmer, back to Matheny. Under a minute left. Matheny on the spin. Trying to create, shuffles in the corner. Peters' 3 is an air ball. 45 seconds left. Sharon Font to the rim. Sharon Font plus 1. 9-point game with a free throw coming up. And no matter what here, if you're New Mexico State, maybe you get a little bit going into next weekend coming up.
Well, this is very much who Jason Hooten is, I think, is that they're not going to lay down and die. Now they're going to fight right down to they'll try and cut it to 6 if they have to. But I think it's hugely important that the players, they would never see Jason Hooten quit. I think that's hugely important. He's not going to just sit down and pout and cross his arms.
Hoffberg gets it in for Peter. Still in the backcourt with Porter. Out of length over there, and a timeout is called. The final timeout tournament will reach the 20-win mark already in mid-February if they hang on here. Osborne almost got a hand on it. Into the front court to Aquino. And Peter will get free throws. This is a grouping right now that, I know you're trying to play catch up, has looked better than any other grouping tonight for New Mexico State. We'll see Saturday if we just see something almost completely different from Jason Hooten, where he goes with maybe Sharon Font, Osborne, Pickens, this group right here, to try to switch things up even more than what we saw tonight.
Well, yeah, he's got a very young team on the floor now with Gabe Pickens and Jacoby Osborne.
You hope you get Filipovic back, but he needs to be better 48 hours from now, so who knows. Brett Decker Jr. comes in for Porter for Liberty. Aggies roll the ball to midcourt, scooped up by Pickens. Speeds in the key. Pickens fires it on the end line to Osborne, and it touched the end line. So out of bounds, turnover. And now Liberty can dribble it out here in the final 23.8 potentially. This is a tough one to swallow for New Mexico State after a really slow start again. The Aggies did hold a 5-point lead at the break, and they lose by 10. Liberty outscores New Mexico State in half two, 40-25. Richie McKay's squad reaches the 20-win marker for the 8th time in the